On Aliexpress, you can buy 10-inch tablets for only $50, but $50 is very little money for a tablet. I had the same question as you. What can a $50 tablet actually do? So, I bought one to put it to the test, and let me tell you, it's not bad at all. Stick around to watch the full video where I'll show you what you can and cannot do with a budget tablet. In my case, I bought a tablet from the brand Blackview, the Tab 70 Wi-Fi. At the time I'm recording this, I realized it's already sold out. I'll leave the link in the description so you can check if it's back in stock, and I'll also leave a few alternatives with similar specifications, though I can't promise they're as good as this one. Here's how my tablet arrived. It came protected with an airbag to make sure it arrived in perfect condition. It took about 10 days to arrive from China, and shipping was completely free. The packaging is pretty simple. When you open the box, you'll find a tempered glass screen protector, a 10-watt charger, a manual, and a USB cable. Here's the tablet itself, which comes with a protective case that also doubles as a stand. At this point, I already felt like I was winning so many accessories. Even the screen had a pre-installed protector. The case has a cool feature. When you close it, the tablet locks, and when you open it, it unlocks automatically. Here's the tablet without the case. As you can see, there are no fancy finishes at all. The screen bezels are very thick. On the top, you have the classic power and volume buttons and a headphone jack. It's not super thin, but not bulky either. On the bottom, you get dual speakers for stereo sound. And on the side, there's a USB-C port and a micro SD slot that supports up to 1 terabyte. On the back, there's the camera module and a clean design overall. On the front, in a small notch, is the selfie camera. The entire build is plastic of average quality, but it doesn't feel bad in the hands. You can tell it's made with cheap materials, but it's surprisingly solid. Honestly, it impressed me in a good way. Even the free case doesn't feel low quality. It's actually a decent one that will protect your tablet. The first thing to talk about is the screen, because, let's be honest, the only reason to buy a tablet is to have a big screen. It has a 10.1-inch IPS panel with HD resolution of 1200 by 800 pixels. The brightness level is quite good indoors. You'll have no issues, even in a brightly lit room. Outdoors though, you'll definitely need more brightness. In terms of colors, resolution, and overall quality, I compared it to a Lenovo tablet that cost 3 times more, $150. Of course, the Lenovo looks better, but I wouldn't say it's 3 times better. In these clips, you can clearly see the only real downside of this budget tablet. In completely dark scenes, it tends to wash out the image slightly toward white, but honestly, it's minimal. Once you're watching regular content, you barely notice it. If you are going to use your tablet to watch videos, whether it is YouTube, Netflix, TikTok, or any other multimedia content, it is perfect. As a bonus, it has stereo sound with dual speakers. It actually sounds pretty good and has decent volume. The surround sound in movies also works great. Now, let's move on to the second most important thing: performance. It has 4 GB of memory RAM, a processor that's, let's say, kind of experienced, and 64 GB of storage. It scored 188,000 points on the Antutu benchmark. Honestly, I was impressed. I was expecting maybe 100,000 at best, but nearly 200,000 is not bad at all. Performance is good under certain conditions. Imagine you are Toretto, but someone gives you the slowest car and you still have to win the race. It will depend more on your driving style than the car. That is basically how this tablet works. Do not try to go full speed opening too many applications because you are limited to 4 GB of memory RAM. App startup is slow, but that is the only slow part. Once inside an app, it runs smoothly. For example, in YouTube, if you switch from one video to another, it moves smoothly. Really smoothly, no lag or freezes. Netflix is the same. You can move through menus, pick movies, and everything works perfectly fine. Now, in TikTok, where videos change faster, you might notice a bit of lag between videos. My advice: use the light versions of every app you can. TikTok has a light version, and with that one, you will have 0 issues. The only but is patience. Open the app, wait a few seconds, and during the first minute, it might feel slow. Once everything loads into the memory RAM, it works smoothly. You can also use the tablet for school apps the browser to read documents or visit web pages, and office tools like Excel, Word, or PowerPoint all run without problems. You can even use it to read manga, comics, or books comfortably. It has some eye comfort settings, and scrolling between pages is smooth. Surprisingly, it even has a PC mode. In PC mode, you can manage windows like in Windows, connect a mouse, have Wikipedia open on one side and Word or Excel on the other to do your homework. Just do not overload it. Too many apps will make the memory RAM overflow and everything will slow down. But 2 light apps at once? No problem. And for social media like Facebook or TikTok, as I said, install the light apps and they will run perfectly fine. Now, the part you are probably most curious about video games. Well, I have bad news, kiddo. This tablet is definitely not designed or intended for gaming. You can play a few games that are very well optimized and with minimal graphics, but your options will be quite limited. For example, Subway Surfers runs just fine since it is lightweight and well optimized. However, even with Subway Surfers, you will face the same problem I mentioned before. When you launch it, it will lag for about a minute until it fully loads textures and data into memory, and then it starts running smoothly. Call of Duty Mobile runs on the lowest graphics and frame rate settings without major issues. It looks like cardboard but is playable. Still, you will experience occasional lag. It is playable, yes, but definitely not the best experience. Asphalt 8 on minimal graphics is another one you can add to your list of everyday games. That one runs surprisingly well. Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories is also a great option. You can even play it on maximum graphics and it performs perfectly. On max settings, you might notice a tiny bit of lag, but it is barely perceptible. On medium graphics, it is flawless, and honestly, this one is a gem. Even better if you connect a controller. I installed Vice City thinking it would work, but surprisingly, it did not even start. It just crashed. If you want another open world option that is somewhat playable, the Gangstar Vegas games work decently. They are very GTA style, and although they lag, they are still playable. Bully on minimum graphics runs perfectly fine, another one worth playing. And of course, the ultra super realistic, full high definition 4K Ultra Experience Free Fire. You can play it on cardboard graphics and it runs perfectly. So, if you are into Free Fire, this tablet will handle it. I tried Roblox to steal some brain cells, but that one lagged a lot, really not enjoyable. Minecraft on minimum render distance around 5 chunks runs perfectly smooth and stable. As for the cameras, one is 5 megapixels and the other 2 megapixels. They look basically the same, pure extreme poverty quality photography. Video looks just as bad. Honestly, that is the tablet's weakest point. But let's be real, nobody buys a tablet for its cameras. Finally, it has a 6580 milliamp hour battery, which lasts about 4 hours of gaming or 5 hours of movie watching, enough for 2 full movies. The downside is the 10-watt charger. It is very slow. It takes around 3 to 4 hours to go from 0 to 100%. In terms of connectivity, it is not bad at all. It has Bluetooth, 5 GHz Wi-Fi, and even GPS. I ran a speed test, and it easily hit the maximum speed of my network. The Maps app also runs relatively well. If you want to use it for browsing without any problems, that is basically everything about this tablet. For the price, it is definitely an excellent option for certain situations. If you are going to use it to watch multimedia content like YouTube, Netflix, your favorite streamers, or to read without any issues, it works perfectly, and you will hardly find a better option for only $50. If you want it for light tasks or some school research, it is also a good choice, though you will start to feel a bit more limited there. The one scenario where it is definitely not great is gaming, unless you are only planning to play light games or simple emulators like Super Nintendo. Only you know what you need and what you will use it for. Tell me in the comments if this tablet is a good option for you or not. I will leave it here for now. See you in the next one. Bye!